Welcome, sisters and brothers in arms. We honor those who follow the old, nearly forgotten, code of honor. Our metal we wear proudly, like the scars we earn to keep our magnificent sovereignty. Our reverence to each other is only matched by our incorruptible allegiance to our morality and ideals. Warrior kings and queens sit blooded in thrones of shattered bones. Lives are but fragile drops of rain. We all fall down vehemently.
That's right, Ed.
Yet we remain inevitable. For truth to victory, for honor infinitely, we uphold the code and embody it with a quality example. We are mighty. We are unwavering. We are inexorable.
That's right, Ed. We are kings of culture. Absolutely perfect. Justin Lanassa, how are you doing this evening?
Good. Very good.
Good to hear. I love that fucking intro. Ed nailed it. He's a talented voice actor in addition to being the most published man alive. Love the fucking guy. Really, like, we're at a point now where I feel like culture has been completely infested. I think our culture has been completely infested by these strange woke ideologies, and everybody's just at the mercy of it. It's a very scary thing for careers and for money and for power and influence. Like, there's these people that are so afraid to be canceled that they bend the knee to it. It's great to be on the other side of that, isn't it, Justin? It's great to not give a fuck about that.
I think that actually the tide's turning. And if you listen to some interviews with Chappelle, you know, he's applauding them trying to cancel him because he's making more money than he ever has, he said. So it's kind of how the tide.
By calling him out. Yeah, by calling him out, man. Yeah, absolutely. It was, people talk about bravery all the time. That was absolutely brave to tell the truth and to make fun of it. And the truth not being so much like the content of the jokes were not to be taken seriously, but just not to take yourself so seriously.
Well,
I think that's what it is.
That's the whole point of comedy. It's like a fantasy in itself because it's not reality.
You don't say.
If you watch, like Andrew Dice Clay back in the 80s and the 90s, I mean, he actually became a character that he played. I mean, everybody thought that Andrew Dice Clay was that, New York Italian wise guy, kind of, just smart mouth. And, he was just playing that character as a role. I mean, that's what comedians do. They're not themselves,
And it's funny. That's the funniest thing is that that's something that has to be said today. People don't understand. They try to cancel these old comedians as well, like for their routines. I mean, these legendary routines. Oh, hail Edwin! Edwin the Ace. I have his work. Talented creator. I have a book right here in my drawer. I keep it close to me here. Ed, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Canales' artwork was fantastic. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming in. Very old comic skater. Here from the very beginning. He was a very old days of Comicsgate. Solid fucking guy. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming in, man. I've had him on my stream a couple times. He came on whenever he launches a book. I told him he has open fucking door. He can come in anytime. Thanks, Edwin. Appreciate you coming by tonight. We wanted to close out Bulletmaker tonight. Bulletmaker closes in 4 hours. If you haven't got your copy, what the fuck are you waiting for? Jesus fucking Christ. This is a fantastic book. Let's go in. I want to jump right into it. I want to share it, and I want to go into I have some exclusive pages that I want to show that I haven't shown to the public. I haven't shown full pages. I've shown some snips. But I want to show you a little bit of the artwork that that you'll be getting in this campaign. A couple exclusive pages. Here we go. I've shown a lot of this preliminary artwork in previous streams, but I would like to show some of this work here. Full pages that I haven't shown. I think I've shown them on social media, but here we got high res. I mean, getting close to the vault story. Here's the cover page that you're going to get in Bulletmaker. You're going to get this artwork. I mean, look at the fucking beauty. Absolutely gorgeous. Showing this fantasy story, the origin of Vault from Cornerstone Creative Studios. Artwork from Rick Bonilla, who worked over at Image Comics, and Brian Arfil Magnet colored the interior pages. He worked at IDW and has done a plethora of indie content. These are absolute professionals who do gorgeous work. Of course, Jesse Hanson has been working comics for 20 years. He's a former Marvel inker who did all of the final work. He did all the file work for the pages. And he's the owner of Cornerstone Creative Studios and a good friend of mine. Really talented guy. Was also co-created by Chris Leslie, who also did some work on Bubba the Redneck Werewolf, the comic book, and they did a film adapt, I think, of that. But you're going to get that. Here's some early work from this. Was done by Mickey Clausen. Did some work over at Disney and Marvel. Has done a bunch of indie work as well. The pencils were done by Joseph Arnold, who did the artwork for Mike Barron's Thin Blue Line. So he's done a bunch of work for us. Joseph Arnold's an amazing artist. He has a very unique style. But I remember when this piece was collaborated on. It's very cool. With the zombies, that piece of artwork's not going to be in Bulletmaker, but this print is available. But this was like an early work of Vault. Then we did a rework when I rewrote the story. Made the chain veil that you see here. It made out of chain. So his face mask is a chain mail. Here's a full page from the story that we're going to preview. You're going to get 5 pages total. That first page that I showed, the cover page, and this page, and 3 more. But you get to see Rick Bonilla's artwork. You get to see the lettering here of James Reed, who actually lettered what was it, Tech Wars by geez, why does the name escape? This name should not escape me. It's the guy who played Captain Kirk. You guys know who he is.
Patrick,
right?
Or no?
No. Yeah, he played the captain on the Next Generation. Why does that name escape me? That shouldn't escape me. You guys all know that, and I should know it too. I don't know. I think maybe I drank to the point of retardation. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah. So Jesus, am I gonna have to go fucking search this shit? Jesus, Justin.
Was it William Shatner?
Yes, Jesus Christ, man. Thank you. Why the fuck did that escape me? When it comes to Star series, I'm more Trek than Wars. I mean, William Shatner is my absolute favorite of all time. I don't know why that name escaped me. Stuff's getting bumped out. I'm putting new things into my brain, Justin, and then other cool things are getting pushed out. Must be an age thing. But so anyway, the letters were done by James Reed. He did Tech Wars with William Shatner. He wrote the title, and then it was acquired by Marvel. And then they brought a whole new team in. William didn't even write it. But the original Tech Wars, James Reed was the one who did the lettering for that book, and he did the lettering for this book here. Good friend of ours. He's a very talented guy. He's cool as fuck. He's never done any mainstream work because he prefers not to. He likes to do indie and do his own thing. And I commend him for it. I love James Reed. He's a very fucking cool dude. But you can see some of this artwork here. Rick Bonilla went all out. And just something else, too, to tell backers about Bulletmaker. This artwork, Rick worked for Image Comics on Atomic Mike years ago. Years and years ago. And he's done a bunch of indie work since. He's designed tattoos. He's done indie work. I mean, his artwork is on people's bodies right now. But Rick is a cool motherfucker. This guy's a cool fucking dude. I love this guy. He's my close friend. I would have hired him to do more work, and I would have done a book with him already, but he's very ingrained into his job, and he has only 1 day a week to work on artwork. And he did these pages for us 1 day a week over months, and finally got this set finished for us. But as soon as he retires, I told him, as soon as you retire and get done with that, we're going to go in all in. And when you have full time, we can go in on a book. We're going to do it because.
Hey Ryan, do
yeah.
you have a link for the Bulletmaker up on the?
Oh, hey, that's a great idea, man. I think we're just going to. I think we're going to do that. I'll grab it. I'm sharing page right now, so here, page, or yeah, let's copy. Let's do that instead, and then put it in the comments right here. There. That's the link for. Or no, that's not the link. That's the link for StreamYard. What the hell? All right. I hit copy. I hit copy. All right. So now I put the link in the chat for StreamYard and shared it. So that's great. Hey, John. Thanks for coming by, man. Okay, so here's why is it still putting the StreamYard? That doesn't even make sense, man. Unreal. All right, let's do it again. Yeah, we're not taking guests, so I mean, if you even if that's in the chat, just ignore it and don't bother, because we're not bringing people in all willy-nilly. It's not happening tonight. This is a special evening that. So here's the correct link. Now that we've sent 2 wrong links. Here's the Indiegogo for Bulletmaker. Back the book. These guys deliver. I mean, and you're going to get some very cool artwork. Okay, so let's go back. So there's this piece that I scripted with, and I work very closely with Rick. He's very talented. I mean, look at the artwork. It's brutal. It's fantasy. It's lovely. You have a lovely vampire here. You have this cool scene where the lord of this castle is laying in the swamp, and the vampire is saying, "I left the lord in the marsh, Justicar. He is picking lilies for your funeral." And here he is with his throat torn out, with a farm of maggots and flies coming from his throat and his mouth, rotting away. And the Night Vault is coming here to reclaim this outpost. And so it's a very cool story. Vault is a story of a 16th century knight who was cursed and betrayed by everyone that he cares about and loves, and left with this curse, his life completely destroyed, and all he has left is his oath to his ideals. That's all that's left, and then you get to follow that story. That's what that comic's going to be about. Very cool story. The second story in this is the story of Eternitech. This is a villain showcase, by the way. I felt like it was relevant to do this, to do a villain showcase. It's a lot of fun. Villains make comic books. If you're not willing to write villains and you're not interested in villains, then your stories aren't going to be interesting. That's just a fact. You gotta love both. You gotta love heroism and villains. And so here's the story of Eternitech, who's an immortal, lived from essentially from the beginning of time until current day, and he develops an obsession over the story of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, and so his story is that he becomes obsessed with the scripture. He loses all memory at some point. His followers were supposed to put him in a hypersleep, and they had very strict instructions to put him into a sleep for this event. And the only way that he was a hyper intelligent being and an omnipresent being, and had a supernatural sense and intelligence, and realized that there was this moment that he needed to be put into sleep to experience. and they fucked it up, and he lost his memory. And when he emerged, he had amnesia, and he remembered nothing of his previous life. And so his first experience coming back to civilization was the scripture. Everybody was talking about the scripture, and he read the story of the Garden of Eden, and he was appalled by it. He felt like it was, well, appalled by it, but also very interested that that God took perfection from mankind, and his noble quest is to restore it. He wants to restore perfection to us. And so through his research, he realizes that perfection was not taken away from mankind, it was laid dormant. And so the pure gene still exists in mankind, and he wants to isolate it and give it back to us. He wants to make mankind perfect. And so throughout time, he preserves us as a soldier. Ryan. So
I'm just getting ready to order the metal, limited, authentic metal and mega ones. That's the one I'm going to buy. I can see that. I like it. I heard it's all metal, right?
Yeah, it is. No, hey, that's not just, it's all metal. It's not like a chromium cover or like other comics. It's a literal slab of metal that you're gonna get as a cover. Like it's gonna be good, man. You'll be very happy with that, and you're gonna get the Doodle Bag special cover on that too.
Cool.
Yep. Yeah, he's a great artist. And he's solid, and he likes to work. Love that guy. Love people that like to work. So
well, I never seen a comic with a full metal cover, so that's the one I want.
Well, they did a bunch of research to make sure that that it was a legit metal cover. Like it's going to be rigid when you get it. It's rigid. It's a metal cover.
You know what's the only other metal cover that I remember ever seeing or owning. I own a couple small World War II like military Bibles that they would issue.
Yeah.
And they have metal covers. And there's been documented cases of it saving people's lives when the bullet hits the metal cover and then sticking.
I don't know. Well, I mean, this is a Bulletmaker book. I don't know if a Bulletmaker book saved your life from a bullet, that would be.
We can test that out. We can stream testing out the metal cover book with maybe a.
Can we shoot it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to sacrifice my copy. I'd have to buy an extra copy.
Sacrifice it. You might get a dent in it. A nice bullet dent. I might do that to mine.
Yeah, but if you put a bullet in it and it saves whatever's behind it, like that would be a great test for this cover. Absolutely, man.
Yeah,
I like it.
We can video it, and
we gotta stream that live. Yeah, I gotta see it. You're gonna shoot your book. I'd feel sad if I shot mine.
Yeah,
it's like
it's a good tester. You know, might save your life one day.
And I can eat it anyway. I don't have to shoot it. It's not gonna run anywhere. So yeah. I don't know, man. I'm trying to figure it out, but yeah, I gotta see it just the same. I know I have to see it. That's all. I need to see a bullet go into this fucking book.
With a rifle, it'll go clean through it, and you'll screw up your book. So maybe like a 38 or a 357, something with a lot.
Well, I mean, I can't say that it's not adamantium. So I know it's not made out of adamantium. I can guarantee that. And so I didn't have anything after that. That was all I had, was a guarantee that it's not adamantium.
Well, just when I get it, I'll see how thick the metal is, and then I'll figure out what kind of round I want to use.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I got to see this. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to go full 50 caliber so that like pages are flying in the air. Like,
yeah, we still want the book. We don't want to destroy the book. We just want to test its survival.
Yeah, how can we bounce a bullet off of this fucking thing? I mean, come on, that's
that Bulletmaker comic in your backpack and 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 end up in a bad situation, and that comic could save your life.
That's true. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, just having a metal cover with some pages. I mean, I've heard stories of Stranger Things stopping a bullet. I think there would be enough friction there with a metal, like a regular graphic novel, probably not, but a metal cover graphic novel with 100 pages, it's thick. I think it would save your life.
We're going to test it.
100 pages. It would probably save your life.
Yeah.
So we've got these this Eternitech artwork here. Let's see if it'll let me zoom in. Maybe it won't, but I've shown this piece before as well as show Atanis Elam, who is Eternitech, fighting off the governments. They want to take his technology from him. They find out that he's trying to isolate the pure gene, and they find out about the science. They want to take it from him. So, so he takes his research and adapts it into a weapon. There's some other characters that are in the story we don't want to reveal just yet. But these characters, otherworldly characters, give him the means to complete his research. This immortal being who has an obsession with perfection in mankind, and they give him technology to help him realize his research. But he's a super intelligent being, and so they give him a piece of technology that's not normally accessible to human beings, and he takes it and completes his research, is attacked by the governments of the world that want to greedily take it for themselves, and then he adapts the technology and makes a weapon out of it, which is amazing, and he uses it to stop them and to defend his research, his passionate work. He's not an evil being. He is a passionate man who loves his work and will not let anybody take it. And he says no. And so he says no with an antimatter cannon and fucks shit up. And then at a certain point in the story, realizes that the good superhumans of the world have formed a coalition of superheroes, apparently. And they're going to be a problem. They're going to be a problem, and so they might see his work as over ambitious, and so he decides that he might have to make a campaign to stop them, and so that's the story of Eternitech. And then the third story that we have in Bulletmaker, I have one piece of artwork here. I think it might be a full page. Oh, I have a full page here. Yeah, we've been showing a snip up until now. We've got a full page. Here's my preview for Hayward Saints 8. This is the showdown of one of 8 of the characters. This is Mammoth Monk versus his nemesis, Kai Trao-Bing. Their showdown on Shatterspine Mountain, where the Order has been infiltrated, and he must fight the general of the Lashtail clan. And they have a showdown and a fight. This artwork was done by Joseph Arnold as well, who did Thin Blue Line for Mike Barron. He did all my preliminary work for my comic as well. He did all of my bio work, all the bio sheets that we designed. We're going to make those available for everybody in our campaign. But you can see here he loves fight scenes. He loves action. So he loved this title, and he did a great job on all this. So here's one of the pages from that. You get to see their showdown. This was colored by Mickey. It was done by Joseph Arnold, and it was colored by Mickey Clausen, who worked at DC or Disney and Marvel. He also did the Fist of Justice with Ed Dukeshire, who is the creator of he's the creator of Digital Webbing magazine, and also the Digital Webbing site, which was social media for comic creators before social media existed. Ed Dukeshire is the creator of social media, essentially before Facebook existed, before Twitter existed, before Reddit. All of these social media sites I want to say they got an inspiration from this. This was for comic creators, for entertainment, people who post jobs. And there were forums, and it's still in the old HTML format, I believe. So yeah, and the logo, the logo, the Hayward Saints 8 logo was created by Ed Dukeshire. So the logo that we're putting on the cover was created by him. He works over at Boom Studios. Does amazing work. Amazing work. He did the crossover Planet of the Apes Green Lantern issue that they licensed. I think he did he's doing the Dune comic at Boom Studios as well. I think he's doing the lettering for that. Very talented guy. Great dude. And very in on comics. What was he? Ringo nominated letterer, but I think he's very underrated. He's an incredible letterer. Knows a lot about comics. He's seen a lot of cool books. And so he's a dude. This was a piece of artwork that I drew that was done by Rick Benita. He did the Vault story, but he also inked this. I drew it. I did the pencils for this, and it was inked by Rick Benita, who did this story in here. And this was a tribute for War Campaign when they were doing their tabletop gaming. I was very inspired by that. I drew this while they were doing their gaming. They had 9 War Campaigners that were playing characters. It was so much fun to listen to them play. I love tabletop gaming with a passion, and inspired me. And so I drew this, and then had Rick ink it, fix it up, and then we had Carlos Villas do the colors for it. And so there's a piece there, a skeleton berserker, the War Campaign, and the foretelling dice in his hand there. And so yes, you're gonna get a lot of this art. You're not gonna get that piece. That was just a piece that I drew. We're just showing this live, like inspiration and creativity. It's all hand in hand. Like I love all this shit. I was very happy that the guys agreed to feature my work in their book and this beautiful campaign. Bulletmaker is a very cool story. It's the 3rd installment in the Vestige universe. And so Hanson is a creator after my own heart. This guy loves what he's doing. And so I can get behind that. You know what I mean? Cares about what he's doing. And so and when I joined Comicsgate, War Campaign was the most entertaining show in Comicsgate. And they've done 2 shows a week, every week. They're dedicated to this. So buy their book. I mean, you want to get something good. What are you afraid of? You know? What are you afraid of? Well, buy the book. Do it. Do it. Don't be afraid to back someone who cares about it. And it's going to be comic history. I promise you. I promise you. This is an exclusive book, and these guys don't do reprints. This is going to be something that's exclusive to this campaign. They'll have the book file. They might they might run a campaign on Kickstarter. They're running on both platforms, but this is something that's going to be in limited supply. Make sure you get it. It's going to be comic history, I promise. All of us care about this work, and the work that's in here is from people who give a shit about what they're doing. So make sure you get a copy of that. Make sure you get a copy of that. It's quality artwork. It's 100 pages of quality art.
I'm glad I waited to the last 2 hours.
Yeah. Why are you happy you waited the last 2 hours? Tell us.
I got to see all the funding and everything that went on. I mean, it's very successful. We know there's gonna be more of it because it's getting supported. I mean, that's what, if something doesn't get supported, I mean, that just shows you there's no public interest. So the good thing is there's a lot of interest in this Bulletmaker, and I mean,
well, our guys care about this, man. We care about this shit. Yeah, absolutely. All our guys backed it. All the core guys that care about War Campaign and what they've been doing. These guys are dedicated. They deserve it. They deserve to have their book purchased. And what's amazing to me is, in spite of any public opinion, they've done 2 shows a week since I've joined Comicsgate. They've never missed. They've been together for 3 years. Never missed a day. Wednesday and Sunday, every fucking week, and they don't miss. There's no cancellations. Doesn't matter if someone can't make it. They're always there for you, and they're always there for their own passion and ideals. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many people are there or what. They just do their own thing, man. These guys are creative people, care about this, love that. That's easy to get behind. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's very easy to get behind. I love that about these dudes. And so, and I've never had a problem with any of them. Guys have always been solid. So I don't have a bad thing to say about any of them. I can't think of anything. Even if I wanted to say something horrible, I couldn't come up with it. So, you know, if I wanted to be a complete fucking shithead and just say something shitty about them, I couldn't come up with anything. I can't think of anything bad to say about them. So, you know. That's something to celebrate. Hey, Justin, you gonna come over here and slap the fork out of my hand, brother? I need some help. I've been celebrating Thanksgiving for 2 weeks straight. I think I need an intervention.
Nah, just keep eating. Keep eating.
Yeah, it's been great, man. We've been eating good over here. I can tell you that much. Yep. Yeah, it's been great. So, and then Christmas coming up. How did you guys do on Thanksgiving? Did you guys do a bird?
We went to this family style restaurant, and you know, it's pretty much all you can eat Thanksgiving dinner. You know,
Fuck yeah.
It was pretty. But then the next day we cooked. You know, we cooked a smoked turkey and had that. You know, for leftovers. So that was pretty relaxing and good.
Yeah, to do it at home with family, but the all-you-can-eat thing is great because you go out and then you don't have to clean up after too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You can just chow and then call it. You don't have to fuck around with dirty dishes and shit. God damn.
It was pretty good. You know, I don't think I've done that before. I usually cook, and I like to cook a lot. But
see, my wife is a fantastic person. She supports my carnivore instincts, but she's a vegan. So when we cook all that stuff, it's totally cool. But then I got this big turkey pan, and it's like you gotta fucking clean that shit. I don't want to touch it, so it's a problem.
Buy them disposable aluminum ones and
throw it out. Oh fuck!
Awesome.
Fuck you, Justin. I got a big roaster pan here. I put it in. And then it becomes a problem. So yeah. So that's what we do. And then I made a big turkey stew, and then it's another problem. We've got a bunch of dishes with that too. So, but it's been good eating for sure. Yep.
Excellent.
Absolutely excellent. What about Christmas? What do you guys do for Christmas? For food? I like to talk about food, man. I like to eat, so.
I like to do seafood for Christmas.
That sounds great. What kind of seafood?
Crab.
I'm from Maine, so lobster is my thing.
Crab legs, shrimp, you know, fish, trout.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's good stuff. I've eaten a lot of brook trout. I've caught a lot of brook trout. I'm a big fisherman. Bait and fly fishing. Grew up doing it, walking the stream. We've got a bunch of streams up here. I mean, holy fuck. I spent as much time doing that as anything else, I think, as a kid growing up. And I had a buddy who his grandfather taught him how to tie flies. So we used to tie whatever was running. So we were hooking fish all day. We were fly fishing because whatever fly was running, like you tied. Mostly it was like mosquitoes and mayflies.
Yeah.
But, you could mimic whatever was running, whatever they were eating, and catch fish all day. It was very cool.
That's
very cool experience as a kid. Yeah.
Very good.
Oh, yeah. And they're good eating, too.
That's right.
Fresh brook trout? Are you shitting me? Trout and eggs? Fucking A, man. That's straight out of the fucking river in your belly. That's fresh. It's good. It's not like anything you can get in the store. wild game is fantastic, especially like right after the kill. Once it's hung and stuff and it's fresh, it's a totally different thing. My dad had hogs growing up. He had a little homestead, had a garden, grew everything, had hogs and chickens and all that, and so we got experience doing all that and dressing those up. So it's a totally different thing. Like if you butcher a pig yourself, you have fresh sausage that like the day before was eating scraps out of the garden, and then the next day like it's frying in your pan. I have like pork tenderloin. Like for work, one of the hogs that we did, he gave me the tenderloins off of it. So I had pork tenderloin in a crock pot going with some beans and stuff. And that morning we had fresh sausage patties that were made homemade, ground up by hand, like one of those old school fucking cranks,
Yeah.
Yeah, like just good stuff, man. Yep, I like to eat fresh food. Gotta love it. Seafood too. Yeah, you were talking about the seafood, lobster too. We're here in Maine, so we get it off the coast, and so it's mostly fresh when we get it. Love seafood, so I'm with you on that for seafood Christmas.
That'll probably be a Christmas treat. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all good stuff. Absolutely, man. Yep. So Bulletmaker Closeout. Make sure you get that artwork. Joe Ball is the artist on Bulletmaker. They decided to do it all in black and white because the amount of detail that he went into with the story. It's 48-page story. You get 52 pages of independent creators, and the art that I was showing. These guys were gracious enough to feature my artwork in this book in a preview for Haver's Things 8. Love these guys. They've been good to me since I joined Comicsgate. Honestly, these guys are a lot like my real life friends. Like I get along with them not because I have to, but it's just like what I'm used to. That's how I feel. Like these guys are essentially, they feel like family. They feel like family. And we're gonna do that soon. I talked to a couple of my buddies. I mean, I have some real life friends. They're not really streaming people. But I was telling them, I was like, dude, man, you guys need to come over here because you guys are the fuckers that were partially responsible for getting me into some of this nerdy shit. And I've known you guys over 25 years. Like, you guys need to come in and we'll talk about it, give a character reference, and then, see what I'm about. Let's talk and just be real and talk about life so everybody can see. You know what I mean? I'm not a fake. Who I am now is not a YouTube personality. Like, it's just me.
Yeah.
I'm just a dude. Like, I'm not trying to be anything. Like, I'm just a dude who likes to create, So I bring those guys in and we'll see what's up, man. Like, you'll see this is who I am. Like, and you'll see, like, I was War Campaign before War Campaign existed. I think I was born to be this. I was born to be War Campaign in Comicsgate.
Yeah.
It was just there already. I just felt like when I found it, I felt like I was kind of at home. It's one of those things, you know what I mean? That feels good. It feels real good.
Makes sense.
Yeah, especially when the rest of entertainment doesn't make sense. I mean,
but I think that's coming back around. I think that Hollywood's figuring out that it's not okay to press values on the customers. The customers won't take it. That's just how it is. When they figure that out completely, then it'll flip back around 180 and
it's a fad. I think it's it's just this fad that needs to pass. I think you're right on that. I think that as a majority, like, people don't want this content. I mean, there's a lot of people that are very loud on the internet. I think these are squeaky wheels that are trying to get grease, and then it spread, and there's this fad, and now people realize that it's affected the content. So, culture will have to make a change somehow. People, and I think this is a moment. I think people just need to stand up and say, okay, this is getting fucking silly.
Yeah.
I think it's spread too far. It's spread into it's infested. Like our entertainment is infested with these strange woke ideologies that are very divisive. that divide our fan bases and are not messages that are meant to unite. My message from the beginning has been a message of creativity. That I got into this field because I want to create and I have a passion for it, and I want good stories, the things that we've grown up seeing, entertainment the way that it was, and the chain continuing into the future of great entertainment. And I think you feel the same way, Justin.
Oh yeah.
Appreciate you, man. I think you have a passion for this. I think you're doing everything right. We were talking before, when we were chatting. I think it was an awesome thing that your very, very first action as CEO of TSR was to rebuild the TSR building into a museum that's dedicated to fantasy gaming. I think that's an absolutely beautiful message. That's something that that should resonate with everybody who cares about this stuff, is that they can go here and they can see this history, and someone who appreciates the history and wants to continue this chain of tradition. It's
Like
a chain that should never be broken. It's
I was speaking.
absolutely beautiful thing.
I was speaking with Mike Carr earlier this evening. That's the guy that created Fighting This Guy when he was a teenager. One of TSR's first products that they came out with back in the 70s. He's one of the first employees of TSR back in the 70s. He's given credit for editorial and of the player's handbook, and this guy's just, his name's in everything, Mike Carr. And actually, through getting to know him, when I first met him, I had him autograph my player's handbook, but come to find out, he ran the very first cleric ever run in D&D ever. So I said,
and that's like a staple. And
I said, Mike,
you have to have a cleric.
I said, well, he ran the very first cleric ever in existence in D&D, and it was in the Blackmore. It was in the Blackmore setting. So, so kind of interesting that, like when I had him sign my book, I was like, hey, Mike, sign over here by the cleric XP chart, and can you put Mike Carr, the first cleric, next to the cleric spot? And he thought that was pretty cool. I don't think anybody's ever asked him to do that.
That you recognize that, though. Yeah, absolutely. That's a dedicated fan. Oh, that's so cool. That's an awesome moment, dude. Yeah, I mean, cleric. The cleric is this is a staple for tabletop gaming of some kind of healer. This is the first healer.
That's what all the healers in all the video games are based off that first cleric. Basically that's
right.
Where it came from. And people that don't know the origins, oh yeah, I'm running a healer in this video game, or I remember
where did it come from?
You could pick different classes and you were healers or DPS or stuff like that,
Who started this? Who's the first guy? Maybe they don't care, but maybe they want to know.
Eventually
right?
Will care,
Hopefully if they care about, that's right. Because even if now they get into it and they don't care, years down the road, that will be their nostalgia, is that thing. And who created that?
Yeah.
Who created this thing that gave me this joy in this fantasy setting? Who gave me this power to heal and this power to lead?
Up with that Kona cold spell. Who was it? Where did that idea come from,
That's right. Where did all that, and being able to go back and do that and preserve that history is important for that. That's part of our culture. That's what it relies upon, is that. And people don't appreciate that as much anymore, I think today. Or even if they realize it, I think that people have their own interests in mind. People ignore it, and people go with the flow. There's a lot of that happening today. That's a sad thing, because that's not genuine creativity. That's not passion, and that has nothing to do with the chain of legacy. If you think you're just going to go on and do your own thing, I've got news for you. You've been inspired by something.
Oh yeah, everybody has been.
That's the point of culture.
No one.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you look back at early inventors, Edison and all those guys, if you read some of their stuff, it's amazing because they're taking ideas they're seeing somewhere else and improving on them, and that's what that's what creativity is. It's seeing something and making it better and calling it your own. I mean, it's
Absolutely, or at least even if you have something that's completely unique, it's inspired by something.
well, yeah,
It's inspired by something. You didn't get it from anywhere because we're human beings. We have learned behavior. So,
look
like
at
even my work, I can't say like I like to pride myself on the fact that I'm a creative guy.
I
I
mean,
love to make cool shit and new shit, but I'm inspired by the comic books of old, the stuff that was created from the
think
very
about
beginning, and all of the movies
some
I've ever seen.
think
Tabletop
about
gaming.
uh, some of these music artists. They all have musicians that inspired them. So be it
Yeah, you're not born a fucking creative
well, I
musical
mean,
genius. You must have listened to. You have to listen to music to be inspired,
even
and then create your own music.
even the legends, you'll hear different artists saying, "Oh, David Bowie was my inspiration." I mean, you know what I mean? And then who was David Bowie's
He's a fucking absolute legend, dude.
exactly?
David Bowie's a fucking legend. Come
Yeah,
on, man. This guy lived a fucking cool ass fucking life, and he was creative. Guy fucking rocked it, man. He was a rocker. Fuck
he,
yeah, man.
he was before his time at every time in his life.
Fame.
Yeah. Oh, now back to the dungeon hobby shop. So I was talking to Mike Carr earlier, and he was telling me how he wants to run Fight in the Sky on Saturdays there, and I was explaining to him, he's like, you know, you don't mind if I bring some guys over and play Fight in the Skies in a dungeon hobby shop and announce that we're doing it and stuff. I said, Mike, this is the whole premise of the dungeon hobby shop. It's a gathering place for old TSR employees that want a game. That you guys just come and game and have fun, announce it, and I mean, rock on. I mean, that's what it's there for. It's a gathering place for guys that want a game. And I said to him, I said, how it works. You already know that. If you're an old employee, you game, as a member, but then you can bring a guest, and then another member can bring a guest, and everybody's gaming for free. But the whole thing of it is if some dude walks in off the street that has no knowledge of what's going on, he might have to pay to jump in a game or something. But it's literally a place for old school gamers to come and gather, and uh,
To any gamers, yeah, absolutely.
well,
I think that having that history
no,
there too can be passed on.
it's
I
gamers,
agree
but
with you. Like guys like us, I can't wait to come by and see the museum. I need to make a trip down there and see it. I think you've done a beautiful thing there. Um, but I agree. It's like this place where we can have a familiarity. Us guys who grew up on this content go and have a familiarity, and then hopefully share it with future generations. People can see how it's done.
yeah,
You know what I mean? People today um, are writing the work of legends and for their own benefit, and it's not just happening in tabletop gaming. Just in like we're talking about, it's happening in comics. It's happening in film. It's happening in Hollywood.
I mean, look how they
People are
Stan Lee. I mean,
are not on.
that guy
What's
was
that? Oh yeah, absolutely. He was a legend. Yeah, um, the guy created people who created universes, created these worlds, um, should be honored. And then going forward, other generations can benefit from that and be inspired by it. It should be subjective, something that these people can experience for themselves without bias.
it,
And
to
so,
bring up Stan Lee.
could it,
You know what I heard some people talking about one time that were like big Disney historian folks that know everything about Disney, and I heard them talking about how if Walt was still alive, he would probably get ousted out of his company because he doesn't have the same vision that the current board members and CEOs of Disney have. And I was like, it just sounds like a Stan Lee story, you know, like
it could be. Yeah, absolutely right. I agree. Yeah, Walt Disney would have a hard time today. You know, it's like it was a different time. You got to understand that, and it's all subjective. It's what inspired work today, and great creators inspires me, inspired you.
exactly.
So, can we? Hey, listen, we're gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna do some media, and I need to. I'm gonna help my wife. You get us cut out. All right,
Yeah,
when you come back, I'll just do it solo. Then I'm gonna play some media.
And I'm getting ready for a meeting with some movie producers, and I'm gonna drop the link to our Indiegogo. Is that cool?
Yes, please, please do.
All right. I got it on the top chat, and have a good night, guys.
Cool. Thanks for coming by, Justin.
Yes,
all right.
Yes.
Thanks. We'll talk later.
All righty.
All right. Hail Brothers. Fantastic. That was Justin Lanessa, the CEO of TSR Official. And we are going to share screen. We're going to play some media for you, like we do. Yeah, don't mind me. It's just technical difficulties. It's all good. It's all fucking good in the hood. Let's do it. Yeah, there we go. There we go. No. All right, just bear with me. We're getting it. Share screen. Okay. Got it. All right. Here we go. Thank you for bearing with me for all of that.
Okay, let's begin. Please state your name for the record.
I'm Havard Saint, Head of Operations, Badge 3164. I'll never forget that day. In a time of global turmoil and chaos, God opened reality itself and delivered mankind 8 guardian angels from our ruined future. When you witness a miracle, I mean, what do you do with that?
What did you do?
Only thing I could do. I helped them. And offered them jobs.
We're back, ready for round 2.
This is an MFN production.
All right, well, there it is. Thanks for bearing with me. For anybody who watched the media content there, thank you, and thanks for tuning in. We had Justin Lanassa here, official CEO of TSR, and so yeah, it was great having him, like always. And so we're gonna go into this. I'm gonna share my screen. We're gonna look at the official complaint that we have here, the official document regarding TSR's claim on the trademark. And so let's go into that really quickly. Thanks for bearing with me, everyone. And yeah, let's dive into this. Take a look. We have the complaint here, declaratory judgment of ownership. I'm going to skim a lot of this. The nature of the case, essentially, if you read all this, I mean, I don't know how much you guys like legal documents. You know what I mean? Sometimes it can be a little bit dry if you're not into legal documents. I like it. I was ingrained into IP and intellectual property and and copyright and trademark all my work's trademarked and copyrighted before I ever show it in public. So just to have I have certificates for everything that I show. This my own work publicly. So I was trained by a guy, best copyright lawyer in the state, is my guy, and so I know my shit. And so I looked over this real quick and read it. I'm gonna say by skimming through this, what this is from a professional standpoint is a claim on trademark of TSR properties that were claimed by Justin Lanassa that were in default, that were he acquired the trademark for all of these things legally. He knows the shit, and his lawyer knows the shit, and basically Wizards of the Coast and all the people who are simping for them are just playing pretend lawyer online. We've all seen how that goes. If you play pretend lawyer and then actual legal shit happens, you see how that goes. I mean, you can have a lot of money, but to fight things, but legal ownership is legal ownership, and this is a slam dunk case. This is a fact that the trademarks have been registered and they were legally registered. And what this lawsuit is to make Wizards of the Coast, whose members have never read a legal document in their life, people have made threats who don't have a clue what they're talking about, on Justin Lanassa, the owner of TSR trademark, and everything that is owned under the TSR trademark. And so he's taking them to court so that they have to show their proof in the threats that they've made. And so basically he's saying, show what you've got. I have a legal document copyrighting TSR and everything that's owned by the trademark. And what do you have? What did you register? What did you keep up with? And so, yeah. So, I mean, he has a certificate in hand and he wants them to show what they have in claims, and they need to make an acknowledgement that that Justin is the owner of TSR trademark. And once that happens, then it makes a lot of other things possible for our culture and for our historic culture and for these great creators. Hopefully down the road we're able to acknowledge that that this work that was created under this banner of TSR, once it's been established, hopefully everybody recognizes that these creators' work is subjective and that it's artwork and that it should be preserved. And it shouldn't have a warning label on it. It should be subjective for everybody to look onto and judge for themselves. We don't need to be protected from this work. This is an inspiring work that created not only tabletop gaming, but it also created video gaming as we know it in the fantasy medium. And so we need to recognize it as such, not recognize it as a mistake in history, because it's not. I'm sorry, but there doesn't need to be a warning label. This wasn't a cultural mistake. This is a cultural miracle that has happened. The work that was created under TSR inspired so many people, so many creators. If you write in fantasy today, it's inspired by this work. If you can't admit that, I mean, you didn't create fantasy. It was created by these guys, by people like amazing creators like Ed Greenwood, who I have the privilege to know, and Tim Kask, who I had the privilege to talk with and stream. The guy who created Dragon Magazine, the guy who created Tim Kask, the guy who created Forgotten Realms, Ed Greenwood, James Ward, who did immeasurable work for TSR. The amount of work that he did as an editor and as a publisher, as a worker for the publisher, TSR. this work cannot be it cannot be stressed enough how important it was to our to fantasy culture and to video gaming. And this is a step in the direction to protect that. It needs to be preserved. These guys are still alive, and people want to bury this work that they've done. I'm not for that. I'm not for that. I'm sorry, but I don't want to see these guys plowed under while they're still alive. People who've dedicated their entire life to a medium. These are wonderful creators, wonderful people. Approach them and talk to them. They're easily approachable too, and they love their fans. They love their fans. Look into the history if you don't know it, and look back and see what these guys have done, and see what they continue to do, reaching out to fans to tell them their anecdotes, working in this industry, and the work that they're doing now, still working. There's no retirement for this kind of work, for passion work. People who dedicated their whole lives to fantasy gaming content. There's no retirement for that. There is there's only work. It's a lifetime of work. So so appreciate these guys. I'm gonna end the stream right here. So that is that's the end of the document. I skimmed over it and I gave you guys the my assessment of it. We're gonna go into it in depth in the future with some very cool guests. I have a cool stream planned, and you guys are gonna love it. We're gonna have a lot of cool guests on. This was just kind of a spur of the moment thing, but I will. I'm gonna end the stream now. And then we'll talk to you guys later about it. Get your copy of Bulletmaker if you can. I think the stream is going to close, or the campaign's going to close in an hour or two. For everybody that backed it, thank you. I appreciate it. You're going to get some very cool artwork and story in it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I had to say this evening. Tune in the future. We got some cool streams planned. I'm going to start streaming more. I've been very busy, and the holidays have been taxing. And I have a family. I'm busy with that and work, but we're going to do some more streams. You're going to get more Inexorable WordNerd, more insight, and you're going to get some of my cool friends coming in to give their opinions and their insight. And it's always legit, and it's always heartfelt. It's always honest. So what more do you want? You know what I mean? You want the real shit? Do you want the real shit? You always get it when you come here. Everybody, when people in Comicsgate are talking about the turmoil with the Ditko estate, come over to my channel. I gave you very cool people like Athena Finger, who's the heir to Bill Finger, who created Batman, and Paris Cullens came by, who actually knew Steve Ditko when he was alive and worked with him. You know, people talk about these subjects, and then I'll just give you the real shit. I'll just give you the real shit. I won't blow smoke. I won't act fake, and I won't lie to you. Ever. I've never lied to you. To any of you. I was born to be Comicsgate, and I was born to be Word Campaign. I was born to be all of it. I was born to be here for this change in culture that we're trying to make. So let me in. You know, there's always a big hug here for you if you want, if you need one. It's always here. You know what I mean? The embrace, the brotherly embrace. So yeah, let's call it a night. All right. Thanks for tuning in.